Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining me tonight. And tonight's teaching and lesson is all about hope. I know there's a lot going on in the world and people are crying out for hope. So tonight's message is a message on hope. A couple of weeks ago, I was doing a meditation, and as I go into meditation, I always ask a question, hoping to get an answer. And this particular night, I did get an answer, and I got it rather quickly. My question was to the universe at large, why are we doing Corona? What is the purpose of Corona? They instantly answered and said it's twofold. On one side, it's a message of fear or faith, and on the other side, it's a gift. Well, that really had my attention. I thought, how can a gift be coming out of this catastrophe? But as Spirit had it, they unveiled it day by day. So the next day I was scrolling through Instagram and I came across a post from Prince_EA. And he was talking about the pandemic of Corona. And he also talked about the pandemic of fear. And I couldn't agree with him more. There has been a lot of fear come out of this, and reasonably so. It's unseen. It seems to hit anybody at any time. So I can see where the fear would come from. But, as the universe would have it, 2 hours later, when I was doing a spiritual study with one of my mentors, Bob Proctor, he was talking about fear versus faith. You see, fear is a very low frequency vibration on the spindle of frequency. Fear, racism, hatred for no reason, judgment against other religions and nationalities, these are all low vibrations. And fear is one of them as well. But as you go up the spindle, you come into depression. You rise up out of that. You get into happiness and joy, love, peace, and at the top is enlightenment, where all knowledge really does begin. So there you have it, fear and faith. So as Bob broke it down, he had two columns. He had the fear column, and then he had the faith column. And fear, he says, starts with ignorance. And then it moves into worry and doubt. Left unchecked, it goes into disease and depression, anxiety. He also said, which I thought was very interesting, that fear and faith are created in the imagination. Both are unseen. So then he went in to describe faith and what it was all about. And this is where it really takes an interesting turn. Faith starts with knowledge. Knowledge then goes into understanding through study. That then goes into faith. Faith moves into well-being. Well-being then moves into ease, not dis-ease. Ease then is catapulted into acceleration through every cell in your body, and then it ends up in creation, or creativity, creative thought, creative words, creative actions. And the body thrives in this state. So there you have it. We can choose a fear thought or we can choose a faith thought. The choice is ours, and it always will be ours. So I was talking to a friend, Sharon Berkowitz. She's a great Akashic reader and healer, and we were having a discussion on the significance of the coronavirus and spiritually, what was it trying to teach us? And she's the one who came up with it's a gift. It's a gift to all of humanity. It's a gift in that we've been secluded. We're in quarantine, the whole world. It's a time to go inward, a time to see what we're really, really all about. It's a time of sharing. It's a time of loving. It's a time of giving. These are all the gifts that Corona has given us if we only focus on that. And I would like to add to what Sharon said, and I couldn't agree with her more, is that Corona has given us an opportunity once again to align with our Creator, however we see that Creator, whether it's a God, the Hindu gods, Allah, infinite intelligence, Christ, Moses, whatever it is, it's given us a time to stop and reflect and really go inward and see what we're doing here on this planet. Are we living to our highest potential? Are we doing all we can do every day for those around us? So there are the gifts of Corona. I was also doing a study with my other mentor, Dr. Joe Dispenza, and Joe's a great guy. He's lovable, he's funny, he's down to earth, but he's a neuroscientist and he is into quantum physics, and he brings that all together with spirituality. And Joe says that it takes 30 days to rewire your brain into a new habit, new thoughts, then creating a new reality for yourself. So here we are, everyone. We've been in quarantine for well over 30 days, some people months, and that's what we're doing. We are rewiring our brains into new habits and new ways, and hopefully creating new realities. So on a personal side, every Sunday I speak with my friend, Julie Schreiber in Los Angeles. Julie is my best friend, and we have great spiritual discussions every Sunday. Julie is a Kabbalist. She studies Kabbalah, which is ancient Judaism. And then, of course, my master teacher is Yeshua, Jesus Christ. So we have great exchanges between both sides of spirituality. So we were talking, second day of quarantine, and we were just having a usual conversation, and then Spirit came through and said, "You are to read Revelation." And I said, "Julie, we're supposed to read Revelation." And she said, "Well, that's a really strange book. I remember reading it, and I didn't understand all of the horned creatures and the dragons." And I said, "Yes, it's written in symbolic code." So I began reading Revelation, and it was just usual reading until I got to chapter 15. And then I perked up, and it said, the last 7 plagues. So, in a nutshell, here they are. Plague number 1. The plague of sores is poured out over the earth. And I had written in the margin, AIDS. Plague number 2. Poured out over the oceans and seas, killing all living creatures. And I had written BP Amoco, oil spill. Plague number 3, rivers and streams, plastics and a dumping ground for garbage. Plague number 4, the sun burns the earth. And I had written the ozone layer in the Earth's atmosphere diminishing. Plague number 5, the beasts in the kingdom. The animals have become extinct due to man-inflicted wildfires and wildfires in general. Plague number 6, the Euphrates River, the living waters. And Euphrates River is symbolic code for the trees because they give us air to breathe. And the trees have been cut down or they've been burnt down. Plague number 7, and the final plague, was the airborne plague, and earthquakes to follow. And this really caught my attention because I hadn't written anything in the margin. There were no comments because it's happening today. It's coronavirus, the final plague. And the earthquakes that followed happened the following week. The first week I was in quarantine, there were earthquakes all over the world. So yes, that's dismal, that's scary, fearful, sort of. But Revelation goes on to say, the old heaven and the old earth are passing away, and a new heaven and a new earth are arising. When I studied Catholicism 20 years ago, My priest told me that heaven was a state of mind, a state of consciousness, not a place that we go to. And I couldn't agree more. So the old way of thinking and the old way of living on earth is passing away, and a new heaven and a new earth, a new way of thinking, a new higher consciousness is coming through. And, as God would have it, my proof came in the sky. I did a global meditation on April 4th, and 2 days later on Instagram, My Pursuit of Peace posted this inverted rainbow in the sky, an inverted golden rainbow parallel to it. And God spoke and said, "This is my new covenant, the new rainbow, showing you I will never, ever allow another plague like this one to come upon the earth." Just like in Noah's day, when I gave him the rainbow in the sky, promising him I would never flood the earth, this is your new rainbow, showing you this will never happen again. So I was relieved and grateful. So, in closing, my soul's purpose and my soul's mission in life is to be a spiritual teacher, healer, counselor, mother, now grandmother, musician, and author. 43 years ago, when I was graduating from high school, someone in my class wrote a senior prophecy. I wish I knew who wrote it because I would love to thank them. But after my name, it said, "Retha Bogard in the future will be known as Sister Mother Retha." At the time, I thought it was crazy. It sounded like I was a nun, and I'm not a nun type at all. Very spiritual, but not a nun type. But they were so right. Today, I can see it clearly. As I am everyone's sister, I have the wisdom of a mother and a grandmother, and I am Retha. So the logo of my company is SMR for Sister Mother Retha. And many of my friends where I work already call me SMR. So to close tonight, I'd like to take just a minute to connect with you on a high vibration and a high frequency. So if we can close our eyes, just do a couple minute meditation, a visualization of how our planet is changing and how it will change for the better if we so wanted to do that. So close your eyes, take a deep breath in, relax and exhale. Another deep breath, relax, exhale. In your mind's eye, which is in the middle of your forehead above your eyebrows, visualize and feel what it's going to feel like to come out of quarantine, to reunite with friends and family, doing the things that you've been called to do at your highest potential. What a great feeling of freedom that's going to be. Can you feel that? Can you see people freely talking to one another and sharing with one another again? Going to a restaurant with a good friend and sharing a good meal. The freedom of restaurants opening up and stores opening back up. Businesses coming back together again. Can you see the animal kingdom breathing again, showing signs of joy that the planet is calming down again? Can you hear the music in the streets? Imagine yourself going to concerts again, celebrating in music. And anything else that you can think of that would bring you joy and take you to a state of higher consciousness. Think of that right now. Your dreams coming true. A new heaven and a new earth on the horizon. Counting back from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're back in your body. Look around the room. It should be a little bit lighter and brighter, and you might feel a little bit lighter and calmer. Anytime anxiety comes over you, go back to this meditation. It only takes a minute or two to calm yourself down and center yourself. My closing thoughts tonight on this message of hope is, remember you are loved beyond all love, and that always, always, always the universe has your back, and you're never, ever alone. Thanks, you guys. Have a great night. Sending my love.